Yo, breezy show. You guys see I hijacked the show. It's ISO Brio time. Ain't nobody else gonna be on the show. It's just damn it.
ISO. Did you say ISO breezy?
Damn it. It's ISO Brio,
ISO.
man. I was trying to talk to the people, then you kind of
Yo.
stole my thunder, man. You
Ugh.
you took it away from me. What is going on, fam? Phoenix
Hi,
Suns
Brian.
fans, how y'all doing out in Arizona,
Who's a
yo?
fan?
Hey, I know, I'm just saying. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Shaz, Les, good to have you guys back. I heard y'all were in the
Oh
dark
yeah,
not too
yeah.
long ago. This is good to see you, fellas, man. Shine, what's going on, my boy?
Yeah, I'm out.
Sean's name.
You eyed. Of course, you did. You already heard it. And the lovely Koki, how you doing,
Oh,
girl?
lovely. Hi, Brian.
I saw you snacking popcorn backstage. Are you good? Are
Um,
you are you ready
I'm
to
still
go?
I'm still
Eating
inside.
popcorn.
I'm still
Dog, she's
inside.
look
I'm ready for
nibbling
the
nibbles during the game. Good to see y'all. I'm glad we got the right people on the show today because I got a couple of things I want to get off my chest.
Let's
Um,
go.
the show's not we're not too jam packed today. I think it should be quite a relatively calm one, but Leslie moved to a new city now, and in that city
Calm.
is quite exciting. So I'm not sure what version of my boy we're gonna get today. You know, Les, he might get G'd up. NBA basketball. I think we're talking NBA basketball. We're talking Team USA basketball, and we're talking off season. But I think the best place to start is always where get it right out of the way, right off the bat. I'm gonna start with the NBA playoffs, right? Surely. The only thing that really man, look at Liz ducking and weaving. NBA playoffs, Suns in 6 apparently, Suns in 5 apparently, Suns in 7 apparently. Koki, what did you say? I'm trying to get everybody's
I
predictions. I
said
think yours
seven.
is Suns
What
in
did you
6.
say, Brian? You said Bucks
Suns
in
in
five.
7.
So you're also
All right,
incorrect.
all right, whatever. How you guys feeling about the playoffs? Yo, it was a hell of a series. I think it was a better series than I thought it would be. Personally, I was chilling. The first two games, I didn't even give it a watch because Suns and Bucks, whatever. It wasn't that interesting. Then game three, I started waking up. How'd you guys feel about that? Shaz, did you give any of the games a watch, bro? Were you in it?
I caught that 50 piece. Um, my overall feel, like I said Giannis has to do it this season. He'll never get a better chance, and he's legitimate. He's a first ballot.
Look,
I hate.
rah.
There's nothing I can put against that man. He is first ballot Hall of Famer. He's with like two other guys, Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, and now Finals MVP and champ. He's first ballot. Also, I love the fact that he did it with a small organization. He didn't team up with anyone else. It really brought basketball back to its essence. So, yeah, man, really, really, really excited for Giannis. Super sad for my boy CP3 because I think this is it. I
MVP.
think
Point guard.
I think this is it. I don't know which because he moves out. He leaves the Phoenix Suns this season.
Oh,
And
you rate he's leaving. You rate he's done with the club.
I think they go younger. I think they give campaign more minutes and they get some ease
Campaign in
up the
game four, just to jump in right in there. Campaign in game four, in game four, in game six. Sorry, he's the one that lit them up, right? He just started. He came. I think he was 4 for 4, 4 for 5, 10 quick points just to get them back in the game. So CP
and I
15, man. Go ahead,
and
Chess.
I did and I remember I did tell you all about campaign back then,
Oh,
and you guys said yeah. But anyway, CP3 leaves and he goes to the Brooklyn Nets and tries to chase it with the Goon Squad.
yo,
Uh,
yo, Koki
Yo.
going choking on popcorn. So
Mm-mm.
Les, bro, I
Mm-mm.
think you
Mm-mm.
I don't know if you were there watching the game, Les, but I know you obviously kept up with it, immediately. How do you feel, bro? Overall, not even about the game six, just overall the playoffs, the NBA finals. How you feel? Mainly the NBA finals, actually.
I think it was great to have kind of like I think those are two teams they've obviously been in the finals before, but it's been a very long time for both franchises. So I think for the league it was great just to see new teams in the NBA finals, teams that hadn't been there for maybe 20 plus years, whatever the case may be. Um, so organizationally, like Shaz said, I think there was a big win there. Milwaukee winning was kind of just it was kind of nice. I mean, they've been a team that's kind of been dominant in the regular season. It was good. It was good for them to win it. I think obviously when you get into some of the player politics and the storylines around who won, how they won, and what it means, I have a lot to say in that regard, but I won't get into that just yet. But no, I think as an NBA Finals, I think great. If I had to compare it to what we saw last year, we got 6 games last year as well, right? Of 6 games. We got
I think
6
it was
games
5.
last year as well.
Did Miami? Oh, okay.
So-
Nobody really cares about that guy. But
You know,
anyway.
Jimmy Butler slipped and fell into a couple 40-point triple doubles. Go ahead, Liz.
It's possible. It's possible. So it was I mean, you know, we got 6 games. I don't know. As in terms of a final game performance, though, I really must just tip my hat though to Giannis. Just as like a closeout game in the finals, that was quite a performance from the start of the team. Really solidified that. But
From Batman.
yeah, well, yeah. I actually had an interesting thing I was thinking about. I was trying to think about in the last 10 to 15 seasons, is this winning? Oh, Kawhi Leonard might be up there as well. But in terms of a second option, Giannis played with Chris Middleton, who before this series, I don't think anyone would have backed as a legitimate second option. And if I look back over the last 10 seasons, 15 seasons, what do you mean, Shaz? I'm saying just look back. Who's at a second
Shaz
option
just want to
like
fight.
Chris Middleton? I just think that was, and that's more credit to Chris Middleton. I think he had an amazing playoff run as well. But I have a lot to say about the player narratives on both ends. The Giannis, the everybody.
I'm sure you got a lot to say. We will get to you there, bro. I'm sure you got some written down for us. We will get there. Shine, go ahead, bro. I know you also backed Phoenix early on. Shine would have said Phoenix.
Yeah, I also backed Phoenix. I was Phoenix in 6, and I truly believed it.
I gave you a shout out.
Liz, this is my turn. Our host, Brian.
Yeah. Shine, also let us know. I think just Liz, that's a good point. Before everybody starts, just
I'll own it, bro.
in the playoffs, just to say, hi, I'm Shine, Suns in 6, just so we have it on the record.
First of all, I said Lakers in 4, was dead wrong. And then I said Suns in 5, dead wrong. Suns in 6,
Oh my
dead
God.
wrong. Suns in 7, dead wrong. But I mean, this was good for basketball, I guess, you know. Yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Chris Paul. I have some things I gotta say about Chris Paul, first of all. He's always been a very dirty player, but I always hate it because I thought he's my boy. But seeing in game 5 how he pushed Giannis off that dunk, that was a serious foul, man. And I don't like that. And yeah, but now he falls in the category of freaking John Stockton. But that's
I've got so many questions about where he falls into.
But also,
Please don't start.
Chaz is gonna fight John Stockton.
Hold on.
He does,
bro. He does. Jerry Sloan.
But also more than that, I think, like Les said, you got to give credit to the Bucks. You know, Giannis was sensational. I remember guys saying this guy. Cookie had a couple of things to say about Giannis early in the season, saying she doesn't see him, he's not complete, he's not this, he's not that. Hey, even I had some things to say about Giannis.
He's still not complete. He's still not complete, but okay.
I don't know, Cookie, if complete means you can't. I mean, this guy just won a championship with 50 points in the closeout game. How much more complete do you want?
He's still not complete. He's still not a complete player. But he's a champion.
I don't know. He might not have all the skills.
Let me tell Cookie something.
He's got enough to win him a championship on both ends of the floor. We saw it happen right before our eyes. 50 points in the closeout game. No, man. And even what he did in game 3 when they needed to win that first game at home, he carried that team as well. I can't fault Giannis on anything. He knew what he couldn't do, and he only did the things he knew he could. And that for me is being complete, especially because he thought it through. He knew what he could do and what he couldn't do. That, and big ups to Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday pulling up when everybody doubted them. And I don't know if you guys saw the guy who said,
"Whoa, Shine! They were 10 from 32."
I mean, they did what they had to do to give Giannis to push the Bucks over the edge. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they had big games. There was game 5, I think, where Chris Middleton had like 20-something points. Drew Holiday had 27. Giannis had 32. That's really supporting your Batman. You know, I mean, one was Morgan Freeman, the other was Robin. But yeah, also just to say, I don't know if you guys saw, they said that you know, I don't get to that.
I want you to see him as well.
You guys are rude, bro.
What the hell?
But I'll get to that later. Because I know we're gonna unfold a lot of things. So
before I give Koki a time, Shine, Chris Middleton and your boy Drew could have scored 5 points, and if they won, they could have done what they needed to do for the win. Those guys average less than their playoff averages and less than their season averages. They weren't particularly great. Giannis scored or assisted on more than 50% of the team's points. They weren't there.
I'm not taking away from Giannis's greatness, but it's worth mentioning that in the games that they really needed those guys to pull through, like Game 5 in Phoenix, which was a big game. I mean, it was a decisive moment, them winning a game away from home. Those guys really, really did do something. You know, not taking away from Giannis having 32 and 9 or whatever, but those guys did something.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, Chris Paul had a few good games. So Koki, you while you're downing that Irish coffee over there, you just this thing of you saying Giannis isn't all rounded. There's only maybe 10 players in NBA history that are complete, complete. This thing of saying he's not a complete player, there's more dudes that aren't than are. But go ahead. You go ahead and make your point, go.
So that wasn't a question. That was just you saying things.
I just wanted you to know that is difficult.
Forget about Breezy leading you on.
Brian, I don't know
Just
what
say
he's
what you.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
Give your analysis.
Context.
Yeah, like honestly. Okay, so I mean, yeah, shout out to the Bucks. Oh, by the way, I was backing Phoenix. I was backing Chris Paul. But yeah, shout out to the Bucks. You know, I can't deny, you can't hate on what Giannis did. Yeah, Chris Middleton as well. I mean, this was the franchise's first ring in like 50 years, which was very interesting.
Since Kareem.
So I guess like shout out. Okay, Shine. Thank you. You had your time.
Does this have anything to do with Brooklyn? Is that why you're not so enthusiastic about your depth? Are you?
No, shut up. So I'm glad that I lost to. No, I'm glad that the Nets lost to the people that actually won the whole thing. So rather we lose to the winners. You know what I mean? Imagine losing to a team that doesn't win. But anyways,
is that a bit of some shit?
That's a terrible. That's a terrible.
It's a jab.
That's a long con. That's a long jab.
You guys are missing the angle.
No man.
He's coming at there.
Okay. As for CP3, can we actually enter this chat? Let's talk about legacy. I don't think this has anything. It doesn't change his legacy. He's still a Hall of Famer.
No,
I don't think it changes anything. He's still in the same position as he was when he started the season. No.
Which?
And for Bron fans, it's even better because he reached the finals.
Nope.
Don't make this about
nothing.
Us. Make this about
you.
Make this about
your point.
Okay, my point is. Okay, he's never been in my top 5 of PGs all time. He's still a Hall of Famer. Nothing changes. There it is.
I think there's a better way to start this. Who has Chris Paul in their top 5 point guards all time before the NBA Finals? Liz, is that a hand up?
Not me.
Well, I was counting mine. I was doing mine. I was doing my top 5.
Oh, you try to put in your.
Not mine.
So
no,
Shaz, go ahead, bro. I know Shaz not too happy about what Koki has to say. You go ahead.
John Stockton. Oh my God.
The ghost of Jerry Sloan. Here we go.
No, okay, I'm gonna leave. Look, let's not start with John Stockton.
I didn't have him.
I think once again for me with Chris Paul, it comes back to leadership. He's come down to a very crunch time. He's lost 4 straight games. There is clearly something he cannot do, that especially in the clutch, that he cannot get over. We don't know what it is, because Giannis, this was a big criticism of Giannis in the past, that he can't get his teams over the hill. And look, CP3, as CP3, I think it will always be a knock on his legacy, especially being this close, and he couldn't close it out. And I think that's a fair analysis. Does it elevate? Does it depreciate? I've always said that CP3 has a lack of leadership at this point. It doesn't depreciate from when he had Lob City and had all those guys. So he just stays the same. He's number 7.
Can I ask,
6.
guys? Can I ask? Does leadership actually make you a great player?
Hey, Koki will come this angle every day.
Yeah, you gotta close it. You gotta close it out. You gotta
Okay.
close it out. You gotta close it out.
I think, Koki, I think the answer to that question is it depends if your team needs it. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
It's like, I'll be honest, man. Like, if you the team I like to use an example for always and often is the LA Lakers 2009 and 2010. Like, Kobe Bryant is a leader, and he was a much better leader in that second half of championship runs. But I think the actual leader of that team was Derek Fisher. And even when I look at the team like the Spurs back in their day, I think there were multiple leaders. After watching that Tony Parker documentary and all of that, like, I've also just realized, like, some of these teams, it was different
It
guys.
was
at
never
different
Tim
times.
Duncan, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily always Tim. He was kind of just also so what I believe the leadership thing is very much based on a time and a moment. For example, if you look at the Lakers of last year, I just don't think some of those guys would have been able to get over that hump and be able to keep that mentally strong. AD wouldn't have played that way without some of LeBron's leadership. But if I look at like a Miami Heat team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, I'm just like, there was shared leadership there. It was kind of whoever's day, type of thing. So I think leadership is based on the moment. What I think the thing about the leadership thing is, if your team needs it, is it going to deliver something? Like, if
It was
you the type
Kawhi
of player,
in the
yeah.
Western Conference Finals last year,
Yes.
where there was no one to lead and they needed someone to rally the guys. There was no one. He
Kawhi's
was just the
the
guy
perfect
playing the best
example.
Western
basketball.
Conference Finals,
He's
bro.
never been a leader.
Brian's right. Kawhi's the perfect example. First championship under the San Antonio Spurs banner of leadership. Goes to Toronto, and the truth is, if you do the research, it was Kyle Lowry's heart and voice behind that team. And then you put Kawhi as a basketball player in a position to now have to use your voice.
After the
We might need
MVPs, after the final MVPs, yeah. Now we're
Without
expecting you
those
to
other
lead.
guys, now it's your turn to lead, and we don't see it. And you want to know who sits in that category as well? Hello, Kevin Durant, number 35. Knock knock. You lost.
That's why
Number
Koki
7.
doesn't like it. That's why
Number
Koki doesn't
7.
like the chat. That's the angle Koki come from. She
So the
hates
leadership
chat.
thing-
It's
the
always
leadership
it's always
thing
a
is-
ploy.
Do you have it in your pocket, and can you take it out when the team needs it? That's my opinion.
And if you don't have
But
it and your
then-
team needs it, it's on you. Look at this. Look at
Oh
this.
my gosh,
This
I love it.
criminal.
Who chose this?
Bandit.
Shout out
That's
to
a
Grim
bandit.
Who
Reaper.
chose this?
A Grim Reaper. Guys, that's why COVID.
That is
He
a
was just
bandit.
protecting himself.
Liz.
So-
Can I jump on? Sorry, Liz.
I just want to give you some numbers. Oh, actually, go ahead, Shad. I think you want to go on Leslie's point.
Just
Go
to
ahead.
agree with Liz, I actually see that, and he's exposing it more when I see it with Team USA. And because he is team
Yeah.
captain, and he's actually showing it more. That's all I wanted to say. I actually agree with you very much.
Yo, it's
So,
going
Shad, I
back.
want to
That-
go back to. Yeah, no, it's bad.
Okay, it's Brian.
It's there. So, Liz, are you comfortable? You made your point, right? I think you good.
I was just answering
most
Koki's
part.
question. I got a lot to say about Chris Paul, but
Oh,
Brian,
you
you
got a
continue.
lot more to
No,
go.
Brian,
So
you yell
just
out your numbers.
off Shaz's point, right? I think not that it's harsh on CP3. CP3, MVP CP3. I think it was top 3 or top 5 in that category. He was 16 and 9 assists, and like his stats were 47, 37, and 93. He was 21, 8, and 3 in the NBA Finals. 55, 52, and 75. But 75% on the free throw line, but he missed 3 free throws, like 9 from 12. His numbers got better across the board. I think it's kind of tough to say from MVP to choking in the NBA Finals. If I understand they needed more from him, the turnovers were three turnovers a game as well. But his numbers were better than what they were when everybody considered him the most valuable player in the NBA. That's just on Shaz's numbers. On Shaz saying Chris Paul, he choked. Shine, how you feel, bro? Oh, sorry, Koki munching popcorn. Shine, go ahead, bro.
What did you call me?
Oh,
You said Koki.
Why are you aggressive?
Not the other
Why are you
name.
aggressive? Why
Sure, like that
why
name.
are
No, you
why
said
are you
I'm-
rocking?
So speaking of Chris Paul and obviously Kevin Durant, I think the bigger question for me personally is where does this? Obviously, I don't think this impacts Chris Paul's legacy in anything. He was never known to be a winner like that. He was always known to be a fighter, but not a winner like that. He's good at basketball, but not a winner. So it doesn't change anything. It's just he showed that he can lose at a higher level, if anything. So, but
Bars. Those are bars.
and he's in my top 5 favorite point guards, and it hurts me to say this, But I mean, I just want to say, you're speaking of legacy. I mean, Giannis is creating quite the legacy for himself at the moment, you know, and I think he still has a very bright future ahead of him. And yeah, but I just want to know, where does this? You guys brought up the Grim Reaper. Look at that guy. Where do you rank this guy in comparison?
Wait.
I want to finish.
No. It's not the other question. In comparison to the guy he beat in the second round, number 7. You know,
wait.
I've got more
my
things to
co-host,
say.
Les mentioned leadership is only when needed in your team. You know, you gave the relevant examples, and the reason I'm saying that is, Derek Fisher was the leader, but at the end of the day, everybody looked to Kobe to deliver on the court. You know what I mean? I don't know. You can even say Scottie Pippen was the leader, but everyone still looked at Jordan to deliver. He wasn't necessarily the leader, but he was the best player to deliver, right? And that's why you always looked at Jordan, no matter what. You looked at LeBron, you looked at Kobe. The best player had to deliver. And having seen the best player from the Bucks deliver a championship, when the best player from the the Brooklyn Nets couldn't deliver a championship. I mean, you got to compare the two now. I mean, it's got to be open for conversations at least, you know, some debate of some sort.
We're talking about legacy. Can I
ask
comparing those two players and their legacies.
Okay.
Wait, Shine.
No problem.
Can I ask a question? But we're not done with Chris Paul yet.
I'm not done with the Suns.
Yeah, wait. Can I ask a question? Because now you say he's in your top 5. Are you saying that he's arguably better than Jason Kidd and
I'll tell you why he's in my top 5. It's just eye test. I won't lie to you. It's just eye test.
Okay. Your feelings, favoritism.
I'm not even lying. The players I put above him have championships and have more things to back the actual accolades. But for Chris Paul, it's just eye test, personally.
Oh, no, that ain't no problem on that. The defense submits.
Guys, can I please just jump in here?
Yes, Leslie.
While our host has left the building.
He's gone for training.
I've got my straight chats for Chris Paul on this, right? I don't think it hasn't changed his legacy from when this all began to where we are now, right? But I learned a few things about Chris Paul though in this finals, you know, and on this run, I learned a few things about Chris Paul. I learned that Chris Paul, I don't believe, can control his emotions on a basketball court. I think he's actually emotionally, like, some would call it, and Shine tried to kind of call it aggression and, you know, this cheek, but like, the dog. But I'm realizing it's actually, for some guys, that emotion makes them play better. I think with Chris Paul, I think he loses it. He doesn't have a cool about him, which to me is not what I'd see when I've watched even a John Stockton, a J Kidd, even though I might not put him in Steve Nash. Yeah, those guys, bro, they had a cool about them, a very, very calm, emotional disposition playing the game of basketball. Learned that about Chris Paul. Not saying that this doesn't change anything for him means a lot of things, and you can't ignore it. It firstly means that making it to a finals doesn't elevate a player. You can contend with that what you will. Secondly, and very critical point, and this is why I said I'm not done with the Phoenix Suns, because the conversation we're all having now is about Chris Paul, because the man that just left the show right now had an agenda. But my question is, if Devin Booker is the Batman, he could not elevate his team with a guy next to him averaging 21 and 8. He could not win.
Who said Devin Booker is the Batman?
He is the Batman.
It was discussed in the show last week.
I said CP3.
And let me tell you something. If you're gonna call D-Book the Batman, the first comparison I'd go to, Shine, before I'd go to KD, would be to clearly state that Devin Booker ain't no real Batman. And if everyone likes to chop like Klay Thompson carried Steph to his championship, well, D-Book couldn't carry CP3 to his championship. So what I'm trying to tell you right now, I don't give a damn who this is. This is
not for us, Shine. This is for Brian.
This is for the whole show.
Brian, I'm telling you.
This is for everybody watching.
No, Les,
recognize
We never said these things. This is Brian.
I ain't saying y'all said it. I'm talking to the world. Everybody got to hear my voice. What I'm trying to say is, Devin Booker, fraud alert, brother. You and Jimmy Butler,
Oh,
y'all
What?
ain't any
come
better.
on.
You and
No,
everybody.
Liz.
Oh,
on.
just because you like the
No.
way he. Okay, guys, here's my chop for Devin Booker, and I
Fraud.
love this. Let me give
Damn.
you guys. Let me give you guys a little bit of a mixture here. Y'all obsessed with Devin Booker. Y'all obsessed with Devin Booker because he looks. It looks nice to watch him play. Hello.
I just
You want an eye test, right? Okay. Well, who's more skilled between Devin Booker and Giannis?
Devin Booker.
Who has a better eye test?
Devin Booker.
But who's more
Yeah.
impactful?
Giannis
on a basketball game?
Yeah,
And
Giannis.
let me give you my ultimate example of why the eye test is a lie. Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal. Hakeem Olajuwon is a more skilled basketball player. He is better at basketball. Shaquille O'Neal is just more impactful. Shaquille can do
Dominant.
3 things that can win you games better than another guy. Kyrie Irving
And I
is
would rather have
better.
Shaq in my team rather than impactful
Yes,
player. Okay, fair.
Kyrie Irving is better like this at basketball. But if you
And
put
he has an
James
impact.
Harden, and if you put James Harden next to him, James Harden is going to go left all the time with a couple of dribbles and step backs, like 3 moves, and still finish the game with more points and potentially more impact on the game. My point about the impact thing and your love for Devin Booker, it was great to watch him, but if he could not lead as the Batman with CP3 averaging 21 and 9, D-Book also got to answer.
Can I ask you something, Liz? Is JT a fraud as well?
Which one's
when I left, when I left,
He's
Les
playing
was
basketball.
not so passionate. What happened? It
Jason-
was
Jason
calm,
Tatum.
it was chill when I disappeared.
No,
They were
no,
fetching
no.
us because
Guys,
of you.
man.
Breezy.
Right.
No,
yeah,
but guys, what? No, Koki's question. Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is a fraud.
Koki, Jason Tatum.
Is he a fraud? Yeah.
He's a fraud.
I'm asking.
Koki.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
I've never
asking.
seen. I don't want to get it. Yeah. Okay. My answer is with passion.
Okay,
Is
sorry,
yes.
can I just say something to what Les is saying?
100%.
Wait, JT is a fraud.
The
Yeah, he's
biggest
a
one.
fraud.
Guys,
Jason
guys,
Tatum's a fraud.
the Celtics, all those opportunities. I can't.
But also, Les,
CIT. He's under
Les,
CIT.
I like
guys.
the comparison you made about Shaq and Olajuwon, but it's just personally it hurts me because I love Olajuwon and he's accomplished a lot. But I mean, I get where you're coming from. At least it's consistent, and I think Devin Booker deserves to be blamed. Devin Booker does deserve to be blamed at the moment, because
JT is a fraud.
he carried it. Even though we can say he dropped a 40 back to back and they lost, he still couldn't do it.
Still couldn't do it.
The-
Couldn't do it.
Yo, Les, my opinion on the D-Book thing, the only reason I'm going to back him a little bit is because he's got a lot of time. So,
Yeah, he's
I
young.
can't-
Yeah, he's 24. He's 24.
he got some time, yo. He got some time.
He's young. Is he not?
Yo, he got some time.
Wait, Shaz, can I tell you something?
And I love what Shaz just
Wait,
said.
Shaz.
Wait
sorry,
and see.
I just need to. Shaz, you say he's got a lot of time. 2 years ago, were you this soft on Giannis? Because Giannis was 24 2 years ago.
No,
Where was
the
Giannis
MVP.
2 years ago? He wasn't in the NBA Finals 2 years ago.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. He won the season MVP, and everybody said Giannis
Yo,
ain't got it. Giannis ain't
it's
got
not
it.
fair. My
You get what I
opinion-
mean? So
my
I'm just
opinion
saying
is not-
some consistency there.
No. My opinion.
Who was
is
the
not-
Batman
Judging
in
the
Utah?
good of his career, not what
Guys.
he's going to be in 2 years. Right now.
Guys, no, let's leave Shaz where he is. He has a lot of time, and I love this. You know what's going to happen?
Pudding.
CP3's impact.
Is
CP3
gone.
leaves the Suns, and I know there's a cohort of fans on this call who love it when a player leaves their team and we see the drop. He left OKC, no playoff. CP3 leaves the Suns. I want to see them in the finals again. Because it's D-Book,
Can I
right?
ask-
He has a lot of time, right? CP3 ain't done none for him, right? Let's see. Let's see.
He tra-
I don't
Let's
even
see.
understand the point.
he
The
asking for a
point is
trade.
when CP3 leaves, let's see D-Book. Let's
D-Book-
see D-Book.
D-Book
Who
on
was
gonna
the
be-
Batman?
You're saying
Utah.
Devin Booker is nothing without CP3. Are you saying
The-
Devin
My
Booker
brother,
Yeah,
My
I gotta
brother.
agree with that. I agree
we've
with that.
seen it before, and you want to see
I
it
don't.
afterwards. Do you
I
guys,
don't
do
agree
you
with
guys
that
want?
at all.
Do you guys want a case study? Who is Kyrie
Well-
Irving before LeBron James?
A loser.
And who is Kyrie Irving?
Bad.
Who is Kyrie
Irving.
Irving after LeBron James?
Kyrie
A
Irving
loser.
without LeBron James got
Cool.
top
Now,
5
same
picks.
guy.
The
Now,
worst
Shaz,
team in the NBA.
I'm willing to
Devin
make a
Booker
bet today.
without
I'm
Chris
willing to
Paul
make a
was
bet.
in the play-in tournament a
but
year
Les-
ago. He was
Les,
top
I hear
9,
what
top
you're
8.
saying. I hear what you're saying, Les.
Chris,
But only difference
No,
is Kyrie
Les,
Irving
watch.
at least won a championship.
let me say this.
When
Let me
LeBron-
say this. Whether Chris
It doesn't
Paul
matter if
leaves
LeBron
or
was not, but
not,
Kyrie Irving won a
Phoenix-
championship. So
Nah,
let's
you guys
exclude
must
him
stop
from
that. You must
Chris
stop
Paul.
whether Chris Paul leaves or not. So let me ask you this: if Chris Paul doesn't leave, does Phoenix make the finals again?
Maybe.
Why must it be that if Chris Paul leaves,
Maybe.
the Suns must
Realistic.
make the final? I do not think the Suns will
Okay,
make
Brian.
the finals
Okay, Brian.
again.
Okay, Brian. Make the
It-
top 6.
Top 6 what? Oh,
The
yeah. I hope Chris
You
Paul
think
leaves,
that's
and I
gonna
hope we get to see that. Yeah, I do believe that's going to happen. I think
I'm
he'll die in
comfortable.
the first round. But I think even with Chris Paul next season, I don't think the Suns make conference semis even. I think,
None of
like I
those are
said earlier,
achievements, Brian.
fair enough. The point is not what that's not the point I'm trying to make. I don't
They
think
will
this
fail
team now,
earlier than they
with
did.
Chris Paul, they won't be there with or without him. They're going to make it any further than quarterfinals with or without CP3. But I agree with, I think it was Koki who says the Suns can go quite far without CP. I think they can. That's
Okay,
just
and
me. I
Brian-
think they were
Brian-
ninth
Brian,
last
you also-
season. I think both getting better.
And
Can
you
I-
believe
can I-
that the Bucks are going to make the playoffs? Are going to make the finals next season.
No.
But they have Giannis, Brian. The team
I know
stats
that,
exactly the same. You believe that?
I think it's more possible that the Bucks make a return to the finals.
100%. I would rather bet on that than the Suns any day of the
Ah.
week.
Apparently, I asked a question about what you guys would bet on. I asked on what you know. You told
What
me
do we know?
that with
Yeah.
Chris Paul not there, that you don't think he makes any impact.
How do I know
So
that? We're
tell
going back
me
to what we
something
think,
about
not
Giannis.
what we know.
Oh,
We don't know that,
so-
do we, Liz?
Oh,
You're asking us
that's
something
what I
we
want
think,
you to
not
say.
what we know.
That's what I
Ask
want
us
you
what
to
we
say.
know. What
You
we
say you
know
don't
is
know.
CP3 gagged and Giannis won a ring. That's what we know. None of
Liz-
us know what's going to happen next year.
Yes,
I-
Shams.
Your questions are hypothetical.
I actually I agree with you because I think campaign also is they're looking for campaign somewhere in the league. He's gonna ask for more dollars. I think that's a big thing. CP3 we know for sure is out. I don't think D Book is gonna carry it. And also I wanted to ask something. Where does DeAndre Ayton in terms of this criticism of the Suns come in? Do we give him some criticism, or is it okay that he didn't dominate? I just want to know.
Ain't a damn thing okay.
He was my favorite player on the Suns. I thought he was the reason that they were winning games. I thought and I don't know whose his assignment was in this.
Is he a fraud?
It's Giannis.
His
He was
assignment
good
was
at Giannis.
Giannis. Six
Yeah,
Seven
rebounds
that's
in
what I'm
game
saying.
6.
So,
6
Oh, he got
rebounds in
that.
an elimination game. Every
I
single
just want to
Bucks starter
clarify
got more
one thing
rebounds than
live
the
on
boy.
the show. I want to clarify one thing once and for all live on the show. And I'm saying now, can the producers please make sure we get this snippet, please?
Sound
Is
livid.
making the NBA Finals an
Come on, man.
achievement?
No.
I need a
Yes.
simple
Yes.
yes or no.
Yes.
Who?
No.
For who?
Yes.
No.
I say yes
Shine?
for a
No.
player.
No.
I don't think so.
Shine? Okay, Cookie's got a no. Shine says no.
No,
Shine says
actually,
Brian-
hold on.
I say
I
yes.
think it's
Brian.
relative.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Either yes or no. Either yes
Why do
or
you
no.
have
We're
to
not doing
give
this.
my answer, Cookie? It's relative.
Okay, go
Explain.
on.
Oh,
Explain.
I love that. I love that you've opened up the fact that we can say things are
Expand.
relative. I like that.
No,
I
so
can
obviously
take-
for me, a season is bust if you don't win. Even if you lose in the finals, whatever, it's bust. But you also got to look at certain circumstances, right? So are we going to say that the 2019 Warriors, Steph choked because Clay and KD went down in the finals?
No, we're not talking about
Do you
choking.
understand?
We're not talking
That's what I'm
about
saying
choking.
when I say it's relative, because they were on a winning path and they got there. Sure, the season was bust because they didn't win, but I mean, it's relative.
What?
Shine, you chickening
Nope.
out. I must admit. You're
I'm
chickening
not
out.
Brian has given a
Yeah,
clear
that
answer.
was
He
lazy.
says yes.
That
I
was
think it
lazy.
is an achievement.
So the truth is,
An achievement.
so
So
it is an
Not
so-
as big an achievement as winning a title for me. It's a bust or nothing if you don't win.
But it's still an
But I mean,
achievement.
you gotta give some depth to at least show that the guy did something.
And
So you
Shine,
give it-
and Shine, under that, guys, under that precedent that you've just set in your own personal opinion bubble, you believe Chris Paul deserves some credit for making the NBA Finals.
I don't think so. Like I said, it's relative.
You see,
The
this
reason I'm
relative
saying-
thing, guys.
Can I
You
speak?
see,
Just
I will show you
relative
why
is
it's
so
relative.
weird.
Hold on, I will show you why it's relative if you allow me to speak, especially now that you mentioned Chris Paul. As much as I like what the Suns did this season, they only got to the finals because every team they played against were very hurt. From the Lakers.
No, we don't know that for sure. This is your opinion.
They
Go
were
on.
hurt, coach. It's what it is.
No,
Anthony
we
Davis
know,
was
we know,
injured.
we know,
Jamal
we
Murray
know.
was injured. Kawhi
We
Leonard
know.
was injured.
Because don't know.
We know this. We know this. It's not like I'm
These are
saying what
ifs.
would have happened. We know this. That's why I'm saying
These
this.
are ifs.
Under
But
those
But that's not the
circumstances,
reason why.
That's not the reason.
I'm telling you, under those circumstances, I'm not giving them that because I do believe the Clippers had
You know
a
what?
full health
Yeah,
team.
that's what
They
you
were-
believe.
Yes.
You guys saying that's
why
not
I'm
the
telling you,
reason
I can't
why
say
are
it's
the same
relative
guys that
because
will
those
say
guys didn't
Golden
get there.
State will make it with Clay.
Guys, let's
The
hear
same
Sean's point.
reason.
Let's hear Sean's
They
point.
did.
Yeah, thank you, Shaz. It's relative simply because under the circumstances, they weren't going to make it if everybody was healthy. The same way I think the Toronto
We don't
Raptors
know
weren't going to win in 2019 if Warriors were healthy. They played against a team that was healthy, and they lost against a team that was healthy. The first team that played in the playoffs that was healthy, they lost to. And that's why I'm telling you that I will not give Chris Paul that for this run. And because he just choked,
And you'll
giving you
not
10
give
points in the
you will
final.
not give
So did
you will
Devin
not
Booker.
give
Devin Booker
I'll tell you
choked.
this.
You give
I'll
up
tell
10
you this.
points.
This
That's why I'm saying
relative
it's
thing.
not an achievement for them.
I give Chris Paul credit for making the NBA Finals. I also give him what he deserves for being so trashed in those finals. That's. I think it can be both. I don't think Shine you
Ryan, why was he
can't not
trashed?
give him that because he had more turnovers than a point
Turnovers.
guard should. He was
Then a
shocking
then a-
protecting the ball.
Then a point
Then a
guard should.
point guard.
Oh, I see.
I'll-
Who's the most
He-
high
he-
IQ guy in NBA history?
I'm not sure. I'm speaking about Chris Paul right now. Now, here's what I'm saying about Chris Paul. He had his worst ever performance on the biggest stage. The most turnovers he's ever averaged in a game was in the biggest stage he's ever been on. I think the highest IQ, I'd imagine that's LeBron James. He leads the NBA playoffs in turnovers, I'd imagine. He probably leads in the turnovers per game, I'd imagine. He isn't a point guard. He isn't hailed for protecting the ball and dishing out 15 assists without a turnover. I want the same noise we make when we celebrate him without a single turnover is exactly what I want to hear when he can't protect the rock. And that's the noise we're not getting. Chris Paul is held for being a great point guard and protecting the ball. He didn't do any of that, and that contributed to the losses. A lot of those were in big games and big key moments.
Guys, just to be clear, Chris Paul lost the ball. Drew Holiday did not make it hard for him, right? I just want to be clear on that point.
No.
Yes.
I want
Lost.
Drew Holiday,
Yes.
and let's not forget Drew
Yes.
Holiday.
I want to
guys.
take away from one. I want you guys to say it was in Chris Paul's control.
I will say yes, it was.
Good. I'm glad we know.
Liz, you're such a tyrant. Bro, two things can be right. I don't understand.
Oh, two things can be true at once.
Bruh.
Just like
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter can both be true at once. Don't gaslight me.
Whoa.
What
I
the
don't need to hear
hell,
that.
Brian? I
Can-
mean, Liz, what the hell?
Brian,
I said it.
you
I
can't
hate
get
that
confused.
statement. Two things
Okay,
cannot be
let's
true at
mute
once.
that. Let's
Why
mute
not?
the man
Hear
on the
that?
top right. Let's
That-
mute
I
him.
hate that
If
statement.
Can
these
the Bucks do
things
that?
can't be true, then we shouldn't be talking about the Suns because the Bucks won it. We shouldn't be
Can the
talking about
Bucks
the Suns.
can we
Yeah.
mute
If
can
two
we mute
things
the
can't
guy?
be
Shaz,
true,
go ahead.
don't talk about the Suns. It's
You
all
had your
Bucks.
time, Sean. Go ahead, Shaz.
Are we comfortable to move on to Giannis and the all-time conversation? I felt like we were segueing
That's fair.
into. I think we were segueing into that.
I feel like I missed too much when I had my power outage, man. I missed too
You
much.
really did.
Man.
You really did.
Comfortable
Comfortable.
to
I'm
get
bleak.
into the Giannis conversation.
I'd like
Klay
to-
Thompson is better than Devin Booker. Yeah.
I'd like to let me ask you
True.
something. Let's go this way. Sean, what do you think about Giannis entering all-time conversation?
In the power forward position, I put him at number 2.
Who do you kick off? Because that one was
Everybody that's not Tim
Wait.
Duncan.
Shine, where was he before Game 6?
What?
Where was
Game
he
6,
before
he
Game
wasn't there in the top 2, but he won a
Where was
championship and the finals.
I'm with Sean.
Top two.
Wait a minute. Where was
Okay, let me
before
say
that?
this.
Where did
When
you
look
rank
at the top power forwards, you've got Karl Malone, no championship, no finals MVP, no defensive player of the year. You go to Dirk Nowitzki, who's got a finals MVP, season MVP, championship, only one MVP, no defensive player of the year, all right? And no defensive player of the year, and he's only got one finals MVP. Although Dirk Nowitzki has the points, you go to, who's next? Kevin Garnett. One defensive player, one finals MVP, one MVP, one championship, no finals MVP. He's the only one.
Sean, I'm with you. I'm with you, Sean.
I am
Listen.
with my boy Sean.
He's
So
the only
where
one.
was he
other than-
before
hold
Game
on, bro.
6?
He's the
That's
only
just
one
what I want
other
to
than
know.
Tim Duncan.
No, you're right. You're right.
We didn't rank him.
You're right. So before Game 6, he wasn't even top 20.
No, top 20. No, he wasn't.
It wasn't even top
We
100.
didn't think about it. We
Top
didn't
20
think
was
about it.
top 20.
Guys, just to
Top
be
40
clear,
was there.
the power forward list is also
Top
not
20, he was top 20. He was top 20 before Game 6.
All right.
okay, before Game 6 for me, Giannis was easily a top 10 power forward.
Yeah.
With his accolades. It's just with his accolades.
Yeah.
He was already competing with Charles Barkley and Karl Malone. Now,
Fair.
Shine is completely right.
These are tough
Giannis,
words.
Giannis has, and you know why? Everybody whiling, but the dude
I'm on the
has
phone.
the resume. The resume is vast. He's done enough. Before this, he was already a Hall of Famer, which is a low standard. But Giannis is he's already done so well. He's achieved so many things from a MVP perspective, defensive player of the year perspective, showed that he can play on both sides of the ball. He stayed healthy, and now he's won a championship, which for me easily elevates Giannis in the power forward conversation. He's easily in that conversation at number 2. I don't think it is even remotely far-fetched. And there's a lot of other players that he can now begin to talk to. He can talk to Steph. He can talk to Kawhi. He can talk to who's the one we're just talking about, KD. I mean, someone even asked, is Giannis's championship, does it mean more than KD's? Because I know you guys like to say one joined a super team, who did he play against? And you guys like to add all your nuanced championships.
It means more.
Your championships. Does Giannis just get even more? So the Grim Reaper, don't tell me about KD. KD, we got Giannis in the building.
That's it.
And everyone will be mad because the eye test doesn't tell you that is true. But what was the return on investment?
But also, Les, before you should go there, didn't the same Giannis guy beat that kid in this very season?
Right,
didn't you knock him out?
Go ahead, Shaz. Go ahead, Shaz.
I had a very strong point initially, but I'm going to humble myself and say I actually concede. You guys make some very good points. 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, and champion. He does go above Karl Malone in that regard.
DPOY.
And 26 years old. We were talking about people having time, right?
Yeah, and
that was Shaz.
Yeah, whew. And that's the scary part. If he gets if somebody wants to move to Milwaukee, it's go time. It's go time there. And
Chris Paul gonna move to Milwaukee.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? He's looking at Tim Duncan now. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And for me,
he's looking where at Tim Duncan.
No, not in terms of the next person above him in that position. The next person. No. I was just saying next person above him.
If he collects 5, I mean, if he collects 4 more, you're a
guys,
I love to
if he collects more, sure. If he collects more, sure, but not right now.
All I know is Giannis is 100%. That's all I know. He's 100% Tim Duncan.
With one.
It's 100%.
Guys, all I know is that 4 more is a very long time, guys. 4 more is a very long time. Yeah, he's number 2. And I think it really means more to than compared to KD's, because he did it with a small franchise, didn't move to a super team, and he actually carried
a ring is a ring. A ring is a ring.
Thank you.
No, it's not a ring. And he took the criticism. Remember when people
a ring is a ring.
No. Hold on. Let me learn my point. No, let me learn my point.
Brian,
thank you.
A ring is not a ring when you're being. That guy got slandered. He got slandered last season. They said, "No, he's not a winner." Blah blah blah. That guy said, "You know,
every champion, every superstar doesn't win gets slandered, bro. That's the name of the game.
Yeah,
bro.
It's the game.
A ring is a ring.
Hell, man, KD moved to Steph's country, and I don't hear what you guys say. Shout out to Giannis. I'll move on.
Yeah.
If that's the case, ain't nobody's ring was a ring, bro. The Kawhi's ring won the ring because injured.
That's my thing.
Ring in the ring because injured.
Oh, can we all say Giannis only won it because people were injured? Come on.
So when you guys say Giannis can start talking to Kawhi and KD, I want to know, what does that mean? As in, he's close to them, he's surpassed some of them.
Why isn't he ahead of them? Is what I want to know.
Shine, I'll give you my take.
Me too. I'm after Les.
With KD, it's 2-2. With KD, I would say he's neck and neck. Kawhi, I'd give him neck and neck. With Steph,
why?
Does defensive
neck and neck?
Because in where I come from, I consider defensive player of the year as valuable as a most valuable player award. I know you guys don't, but that's personally what I think. So I would say he's neck and neck with those guys. Championshipless guys that he's now surpassed because he's managed to achieve this. Historically, I think he passes Karl. I think he passes Charles Barkley. I think he passes Kevin Garnett. I think he passes Dirk Nowitzki. I think he passes Melo. I think he passes. Who else has been great, like in the league that we've been? Oh, I think he's.
What are we
he's
talking
part-
about here?
Legacy.
We're just saying.
No, I'm
I
talking
think
about
he was
with the current players.
Steph Curry,
With
they
Durant,
also passes Steph
with
Curry, right?
Kevin
Oh,
Durant
current
No,
players.
like I told you, he's
Kawhi.
right. He's neck and neck with Steph Curry. He neck and
and
neck.
Kawhi.
Kawhi, I think he's.
Doesn't
I
he have
think
more
they're-
accolades than Steph? I actually, you see, that's, I never know if you're serious on Twitter or not. Though. That's why sometimes I just give you a retweet. Does he not have more accolades than Steph Curry? Steph got 3 MVPs and 2.
Steph has 2
sorry,
MVPs.
3
Oh.
championships and 2 MVPs. Kawhi got a defensive player and a Finals MVP.
Championships. 3 championships.
Hey,
And
sure,
Hey.
3 rings.
3 championships, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. This is what I
This
did.
graphic
Thank you,
is
Tito.
gorgeous.
Yes, this
Yo,
is a lot
look
of
at that
Beautiful.
first dude.
So it's LeBron, it's KD, and Giannis. This is how it's supposed to be.
Can we add
Thank
Michael
you.
Jordan to this?
No, we don't talk
No,
about
this is
the
current
GOAT.
players. This is current players. This current
Don't
players.
talk about the
current players.
GOAT. Don't talk about the GOAT.
Oh, LeBron.
I love that
Could take
graphic,
So
man.
it's
back
LeBron?
26, it's the same.
Yeah, can you please bring it back? There's something.
Yeah, I
that
love that
missing.
graphic.
Surely
My
there's
favorite.
something
Delicious. It's delicious. Oh, the
Firstly,
producer.
Tito, bring it
producer will get
back.
Guys, we're all about Excel spreadsheets here. We're all just like, damn, yo, a table. Let's see what that looked like, dog.
Yeah, man.
Tito got that spreadsheet on a timer. The timer it blew. So yo,
There you go.
Ryan, let's drop our analysis.
So where's
it should be
Kawhi?
2 by Steph, by the way.
Kawhi
It should be
and
2
Giannis.
regular season MVPs by Steph.
Two there by Steph.
Shit,
That
LeBron
defensive
got
player of the year is a
4.
tough one. Eh?
Hot. LeBron is hot.
Guys, who's that didn't win a rookie of the year? Was that Steph?
Yeah.
It's just
They
Steph,
counted
bro.
that?
Oh,
Did
bro,
Giannis?
come on.
Is that-
Giannis didn't
Yeah,
Is that
it's
also a
like
part of LeBron's 13? Then I take it back. It's not that bad. I think,
What?
you know.
We all know
I thought that
Carmelo
13 was
should've
Buck, but they added. Hey, watch your mouth. I don't know, bro.
I know what he was about to say.
No, I don't like that. A rookie of the what? Watch your mouth, bro. Anyway, I don't know if this elevates. Yeah, I think Giannis was already hanging around that top 5 power forward for me personally. I think his ability he was already top 5 before the ring. I think with the ring, it elevates him a bit. And after what you guys said, I can't imagine why it's anybody after him and Tim Duncan. So I guess I agree with you, but I don't think there was that much of an elevation, just as much as I don't think there was that big a drop when CP3 didn't get the ring. So I guess. But I want to know, is Giannis the best 2-way player in the NBA by far?
Today.
I know there used to be that last year even.
Yeah, like I mean,
all the
this season.
in the NBA current, yeah, sure. Because I know Kawhi,
I would
I
say
know all
only
these things.
because, personally, only because Anthony Davis is not fully healthy, because offensively, I think
Even
Anthony
when he was
Davis
healthy, that man was
That's
dead.
me.
Even when Anthony Davis was healthy, he was dead.
Giannis
won an MVP and a DPO with Anthony
I'm
Davis.
not fighting what
Don't
Giannis
buy it.
has. Remember, this is not
Don't buy
about
it.
No,
this is
Shine,
not about bringing Giannis down.
I can agree. I can agree with Shine that behind a healthy Anthony Davis, I don't think it's clear cut. Giannis. I think Kawhi Leonard can make a bit of an argument only this season, not the season before. But yeah,
In
he's
terms
top
of field
three.
goal percentage, Giannis is upper than in terms of what he does in his business. He's definitely upper, and I know that's a big part of the offensive. When you look at 2-way, that's a major key, and I think he's got a high percentage than all of those guys by far.
Yeah,
I think he's in the
defense?
60s.
But you said best.
Oh, by far.
Best.
Oh,
He's
you
the best.
think those guys are better than?
Best-
Isn't he the best?
Best to me has a lot to do with the just eye test, because I can
Oh,
clearly
you
see.
actually enjoy eye test.
So when do we
You
implement
enjoy
eye test and when do we not?
I actually don't know if Les is for eye
If you
test
use
or
the
not,
word,
bro. I
if
don't
you use
know,
the
man.
word best, I mean, how do you determine?
How do you
who is
determine
the
best without
offensive
looking?
player?
Without looking.
Because I could
Okay,
look at
right.
the numbers. If I looked at the numbers generically, I would say the best offensive player of all time, Shaquille O'Neal.
Just
Fair.
imagine when you
Kareem
watch him,
Abdul-Jabbar.
when you watch him Zanzi basketball. There's no stats, there's no rings. You
It's
watch
Kareem
and you just
Abdul-Jabbar,
determine
Liz.
he's good.
And it can't be. You know what?
Fair.
Why?
Les,
fair,
what are you
fair.
talking
You're
about,
just
bro?
looking at- if you're just looking, if you can't, like what I'm saying is to determine best, it can't just be based on
You
numbers.
still it's stats, yeah. Fair.
No,
Yeah.
you said even field goal percentage, Kareem is high.
Not high.
Shine. Giannis scored more points than KD in that game 7. Who's the better player? Who's better at basketball?
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
It's not just about the points and the higher percentage. Better is kind of literally looking at a player's ability and skill. And your boy,
Yeah, that's why
Giannis is
it'll be
all
Kevin
over.
Durant, but Giannis is more impactful.
So, but
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying
what you guys were
whose
talking
question
about
was
when
it?
I
It was-
jumped in.
Brian's question was who's the best Brian's question was who's the best two-way player. And when I make the
Breezy?
judgment on the offensive end of the ball, I mean, I can also see.
Go ahead, Chas.
I can't say he's the best two-way player. Hey, there's some mad scorers. There's some mad scorers in this league.
But can they play defense?
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yo,
so
who's the better defender between Giannis and Kawhi Leonard?
Giannis.
Looking at what we know now.
Giannis.
Kawhi Leonard is the better offensive player. Which one has more
Actually, you
in
know
their
what?
favor?
Breezy, let me make a brave call. Yes, he's the best two-way player in the league.
I think so too. When I look
I
at
think
Giannis and
Brian-
Kawhi Leonard's drop, his defensive drop off is bigger than compared to Giannis is bigger than the offensive drop off between Giannis and same thing with defense. KD is better offensively, but the gap defensively kind of makes Giannis a better two-way player overall. I think Giannis is by far, even with Anthony Davis. This guy won a Defensive Player of the Year with Anthony Davis healthy. He won an MVP with Anthony Davis healthy. So I don't think Anthony Davis is the guy to say he's, Anthony Davis was second, but he lost. So I think, I definitely think Giannis is the best two-way player in the NBA. And I don't think it's that close.
Brian, I must say I concur with you. I have a question.
This is an interesting day.
Who is the best two-way player between Devin Booker and Klay Thompson?
Klay Thompson.
Clay.
Thank you.
Who is the better
Klay.
basketball player between Klay Thompson and Devin Booker? D-Book.
Clay.
And who's the
Still
best
Klay.
basketball player between Giannis and Kawhi Leonard?
Wait.
Hey, my man,
I
I
said-
don't know about
I
Kawhi.
said
I don't know about Kawhi. There. I don't know if it's Kawhi there for you.
Not say you don't like Kawhi.
You say I don't like Steph. You say I don't like Giannis. You didn't say I don't like anybody I criticize.
You don't like
I
Chris
don't
Paul?
know.
You
Apparently,
like Giannis.
and I don't like Devin Booker. I don't. It's gonna be
You
bad.
like them.
But yeah, Kawhi can shoot. Kawhi can do a lot. All right, yeah, Kawhi can be better.
You really don't like
give
this
that.
guy.
Guys, big question though. I personally, and I think I should have said this at the beginning. This was quite a big, what's the word? What is it? Not a team failing, but this was quite a big upset from a team that was in those first two games looked like they were very much in control. I would rank this as one of maybe the top 5 biggest. Like y'all really just lost four games straight in a row. Like they actually in those first
the
2
sweep.
games. Yeah, like you know what I mean. It was just kind of like, we were kind of just getting our legs in the first 2 games. Also, big dabs to Giannis. Missed the last few games to beat out the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, who made it to the conference finals better than Luka
At
Doncic.
23. At 23.
Better than Luka Doncic. Now, Giannis was even injured, and then he won these 4 straight games in a row. But I think there's a big critique for the Suns not being able to hold on to 2 games. We know what the biggest upset in the history of NBA ever was the 73 and guys, what was that, 6 or something?
7-3-9.
Warriors, 73-9 Warriors losing to LeBron James's Cavs. And they went 73-9 without KD. It's wild. People always kind of forget like who they were before KD. But I mean,
And still lost.
this was a massive, I think a massive drop for like a team being 2-0 up. I think the Suns.
The reason I
also-
don't think so is because I never saw the Suns like that. The whole I didn't believe even when they were there. I think that's why I
And but
wasn't
they're more
as strong.
talented. If I told you before this series, Brian, who's more talented between the combination of Giannis and Chris Middleton versus Devin Booker and Chris Paul?
I think you might have asked me that, and I think I said the Bucks. I think you might have asked me that. already.
Definitely said the Bucks, bro.
In terms
I
of
definitely-
I think someone asked me that. Yeah, I think.
I appreciate everyone's respect for Chris Middleton. Just tell me more about how great Chris
No, the
Middleton
gap between Giannis. Okay, let's think about it like this. Devin Booker and Giannis are both franchise players. They're both 1-1. Them versus each other, that gap is too big. Giannis is miles ahead of Booker. Chris Middleton and Chris Paul, that gap isn't as big. That's kind of why Giannis and Chris Middleton. Giannis is carrying the team average. Giannis is picking them up. Look at my boy Shampopo.
I'm just
Yo.
glad everybody knows Booker ain't shit.
Les, The reason I wasn't really like, I don't think it's that massive a blow, and it's this relative thing that China's brought into the fray, is because for me historically, Phoenix is an inherently losing franchise. Before this, the Bucks. You kind of felt if the Bucks got to the finals, those OGs were definitely in Giannis's ear saying, "Yo, bro, you gotta win." Charles Barkley's not gonna get you over the line. He also lost
the OGs being that.
But you guys expected the Nets to win then.
The captain was in a wheelchair. What you mean?
No, wait, hold on.
Okay, I think it was a massive disappointment because everyone raved about Chris Paul's game management abilities and Chris Paul's leadership. So for them to drop off the way they did is massive. Because even in game 3 or game 4, one of the games that they lost, they had a 16-point lead. So if we give that to Chris Paul for being a great game manager, floor general, leader, and all of that,
100%.
it is a big disappointment.
Charles Barkley was the MVP that season. He lost to Jordan. That's why
Devin Booker's going unchecked. Okay, it's fine.
Oh no,
Devin Booker is going to go undetected like Kevin Durant did for all those losses and those upsets.
I can see it. And people must just say they like Devin Booker.
I like Devin Booker.
Devin Booker was so bad when it mattered the most. He had too many games in that 4-game stretch where he was subpar to complement Chris Paul's subpar. Which 2 games? They lost both.
Only 2 games was a subpar.
And they lost both.
Yes.
But that's what I mean by they matter. Those games mattered. You lose 2, you're halfway done. Those games, even one bad game already, I'm calling you out. I think Devin Booker at 24, I think he had a very bad finals. I think that was his second highest average. He averaged 20, something crazy like that. But I think it was bad. I think he choked, but I think he'll get better, and I think he'll be back, and I think he will do better when he gets back. Can't say the same for CP because he's 36. Can't say the same for LeBron because he's also 36. Those guys don't have as much upside left. So that's kind of why I think Devin Booker deserves some criticism, but more on CP for being point guard. We slipped. Go ahead, Chaz.
Oh no, that was a wrap. Devin
Booker. Hey, Rondo.
I want to ask something. Do you guys think the Bucks stay together? Do you think it's like, I'm just talking about the team? Do you think there's no changes, no movements?
I think they stay together, but it's going to be hard because some players might want a bit more money.
Yeah, I also think so. Because when you win a championship, your stock goes up. But I think if they can keep their core, I don't think they'll be too bad.
Yeah.
I think Drew will stay. I think Chris will stay. I think PJ might leave, man. PJ, why PJ foul so much? That guy actually was a bit of a non-factor. Why fouling so much and just 0 points? But I think they're going to change quite a bit, and I think they're going to get better. I think they might get another superstar that might want, not a superstar, but a big-ish name to join them. Hey, ain't nobody going to Milwaukee on a ring, man. They got a chip on him.
Hey, Kareem left Milwaukee, bro. Ain't nobody going to Milwaukee.
Go play with Magic.
Yeah, anybody going to Milwaukee.
But yeah,
Brian.
man, I want an NBA Finals, yo.
Okay.
It's been an hour. Like, are we talking free agency?
Yeah, come, bro. The next topic, come.
Yo. I thought y'all got a bedtime and stuff, man.
I also thought we finna go to bed.
I thought it was a bedtime.
We can do that.
Real quick, before I think we still got a couple minutes. That's the one where the Zoom with the limit where it's about to end. Real quick. Team USA, bro. Did they get better or did they get worse? I think they lost Bradley Beal and they lost Kevin Love. Brad Beal under COVID, Kevin Love hasn't healed yet. I think they told him to.
Who'd they get? McGee and who?
They got JaVale McGee and some rookie from
Calvin Johnson, I think.
Wait,
he plays for Greg Pop.
Can I ask a question? Don't the champions come now? Don't the people like Devin
Chris
Booker,
Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Devin Booker?
Alright.
That's more isolation basketball there, man.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
USA
I still think they'll sweep. I still think they'll sweep, though. I still think they'll clean up and they'll win everything. But
me too.
It's looking bad. Ladies it's Nigeria versus USA, and Nigeria got some WNBA starters talent, my boy.
Yeah, but they lost.
But they lost, by a huge margin.
Because Asia Wilson started, bro. Because Asia Wilson started.
This is not. It was a Team USA
She
versus
started
Nigeria
against.
exhibition.
Come on, Brian.
I just want to see Asia Wilson, guys. This lady is so talented.
You can do that in your own capacity,
She's-
Shine.
What do you mean? Am I
Sky
So the
talking about
producers get
She's
the producers got to put
the
the Instagram handle on the bottom.
Come on,
the
man.
Who, Asia
Asia
Wilson?
Wilson is very talented. She's got that power forward thing that most people don't have with the mid range. Look at her, you know, rookie of the year
Shine,
and
she
MVP.
ain't doing nothing, bro.
I think she's
Holding
best.
a rock, bro. She ain't doing nothing.
Distribute.
Look at her like she's about to die. She should cross over. She ain't doing nothing. She's holding a rock.
Um,
Koki, how you
Rookie
feel?
and MVP
USA
season.
Nigeria. What's your call? A blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
No,
But I
no,
did
no,
expect
30.
it.
No, guys. There's another game coming now. Their first game, I think, in Tokyo is USA Nigeria. Is that am I
That's a
confused?
blowout.
Really?
Stop.
Oh no! Let's talk
Yeah,
about their
the-
game against Australia, where they lost by 3 points. And Liz Cambage didn't play for Australia. Liz was not there.
That's a big scare
That-
for team. That's a big scare for Team USA. I think that Australia team can ball, and they're also balling without their superstar. And you can see
But
like
Liz
they
is not going to Tokyo anyways.
yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
Y'all
but
saying the
they-
same thing.
The way
Shine.
you guys talk about it,
They
like, no.
lost without Liz.
Wait, Australia won against Team USA,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
and
Cookie
they
was
they
just saying
won.
it the other way.
Yeah, and they won without their superstar. I think it's gonna be closer than people think it's gonna be, especially when they get to Tokyo. You know, if Australia plays Team USA again, I think Australia could take them because they play.
Is Liz a superstar? Hey? Is Liz Buck?
I think she
Yeah, dude.
It's an act.
Yeah, no, she's back.
She's back. Too.
No, she is.
She scored the most points in WNBA
Just look at her.
in the game.
But
she
also, I
scored.
mean, I think if you watch the game or whatever, you'll see the difference between the two leagues, obviously, or the two teams. Team USA plays a lot of isolation basketball, and I think we mentioned this the
The
other
women's
day.
basketball is fun. Yeah.
With the rules of FIBA being different to that of the NBA and WNBA, no defensive 3
Yeah.
seconds, it becomes very difficult for USA to play that isolation basketball that they used to. And this goes
Shit.
both ways, for men and women. You know, and I think that's where these other teams have the advantage. And they're gonna struggle if they don't make adjustments. But I think they're good enough players with enough talent to be able to make the adjustments.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I mean, they have the talent, they have everyone, they have like the best shooters. I don't understand. But I'll tell you this, Australia plays well as a team.
Yeah.
And the 3-pointers was the difference. Like they were just shooting threes and they were going
Ball
in.
rotation.
Exactly. But also Team USA, Diana Taurasi wasn't there. And she's like their
White
3-point
Mamba.
specialist.
Ooh-wee.
Do you think that
Exactly.
Diana
And
Taurasi-
she was the 3-point specialist. So I think when she does come back, obviously she makes the team better. But if she's there against Australia in the Olympics, I don't think it's going to be that easy. But I would
Diana
definitely
Taurasi
back
gets up a high
Australia.
volume of shots though. Hey, I don't know if she's
Yeah,
like a
I don't
good
know if she's
fit
that big.
for-
I don't know if the difference will be as much.
I don't think the impact's that big.
Not anymore. Not anymore. She can't win a game for Team USA like she could back in the
Also,
DZ.
she's coming off an injury. That's a big thing. Like they're going
Okay,
to
fair.
rotate.
Yeah, she hasn't played in a while.
She hasn't played in any of these warm-ups. And also that coach is trying to bring in the youth through that system now. So she's pushing a lot of Scarlett
she's
Diggins at
old.
one. And they
So
like,
do you
they're
guys
trying to
think
get new
any of
guys.
these teams are in trouble? Y'all think any of these teams are in for real trouble? USA
I don't
men's
think the
or-
guys are.
I think Team USA guys are in trouble. They get the guys globally.
It
Also,
would
you
be
know, Team-
nice, man. It would be
Team
I'm
nice.
USA
trying to think of the teams that can beat them.
Which team Luka
Nigeria
play for?
did.
I think for Team USA on the women's side, I do think Australia, if the day is
Yeah.
perfect,
And
they-
I think European teams can actually give the women quite a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, the EuroLeague is crazy.
yeah,
Is it-
yeah,
yeah.
but I really
Maybe
only
your
think
France
Australia. I personally, for the women's side, I think only Australia has a
And it
chance.
feels like Australia has a lot of WNBA players, like
They do have a
experienced
lot.
ones as well.
They
Yeah,
do.
that's
Yeah,
big time
yeah.
too. They aren't
Now,
intimidated by these
Liz,
ladies.
For the gents, I can't.
The gents are in trouble because I won't lie to you.
I think Spain.
Australia as well.
Spain is
Australia-
always.
No, but Australia beat them.
Australia
But also-
men's team, freaking good. And they've
Ben
got a lot
Simmons
of
is a punk.
players.
Ben Simmons should have
NBA
gone
players
down
that
because
are
if they
trying to
foul
put
him,
points.
you know FIBA rules. If you give an intentional foul, you only got 2 of those, and you eliminated. So it's just no, you should have come. You would have been fine. You should have played the rule book.
What the hell,
Liz,
right?
Another thing with Team USA, this Team USA, is that they're a very small team compared to the Team USA's of the past. And they struggled against a team like Australia, which is averaging a lot of length in their team. I mean, the biggest guy there, I think, They were playing Draymond Green at 4 and Bam at 5, and there's no depth afterwards in terms of.
Yeah,
They
Aaron
were saying
Baines chowed them.
they were saying
It just
they were
seems
saying,
very arrogant, man. This
they're
team
trying to-
USA
Yeah,
guy.
that's fair.
I'm about
I think
this.
I think this
I
team
feel like
USA
they-
is the least identity
This is the
I've
first
seen.
time. Yeah, I think it's the first time since I've ever paid attention to
Yeah.
where they don't take their best players or 5 of their best players. I think it's weird, man. There's too many things missing on this team, bro. I think they're in trouble. I just can't imagine. I think they'll have some close games and close calls, but I still think that they'll win it.
I think it's just
Also, what
identity
about
for me.
So it's not on
Greg
KD's
Popovich
leadership.
losing cool, and Greg Popovich losing it a little bit. He's not in control. He ain't in control.
Greg
I saw
Pop
that-
on fraud watch.
Fraud.
They should have brought back the Mr. Keys. They should have brought back Mr.
Yeah,
Keys. Though.
he's got time on his
Man
hands. He
retired.
just left
Said
you.
he don't
He
want
got
it.
time on his hands now. What does he mean?
Nah,
It's
they-
off-season something.
They should have put up the budget.
So on that note, really quick, before we go ahead, you all heard the trade rumors. You all heard what's happening in La La Land.
No, everywhere in the NBA, not just La La Land. Go
Cookie,
on.
there's nothing else. There aren't any
Where?
other rumors.
Look,
You can't
okay.
be
No,
mad at
Kevin
it.
Love might be going to the Nets.
Who cares,
Go on.
bro?
Oh,
Yo, Kevin Love's a fantastic player. That's massive.
yeah.
Kevin
that's
Love
not
and
bad.
Blake
That-
Griffin.
that would
Kevin
be-
Love
that
and
would be a
Blake
good-
Griffin, same gent.
Blake
No way.
Just there.
No way.
Brian,
They-
Brian,
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 you have
stop
you
it.
have more upside on
Brian Labora. Stop it,
Brian,
Brian.
you have
Oh my
some
goodness.
upside with K Love, please, man.
I've seen K Love hurt
Better
LeBron
shoot,
James in
Brian.
multiple
Brian,
Brian,
playoff
don't be
runs.
hating
Off
on
the
don't be
ball,
hating
Brenner.
on Blake because you saw your boy. He can actually still play. He just be lying to everybody.
Guys, where's the salary
I-
cap for Brooklyn Nets? Where's the salary
My
cap?
man, all these guys are on veterans.
Don't worry.
minimum. They wait for them
Don't
to
worry.
turn 31, then they say, "Yeah, now you're a vet. Take a million. Let's
Look,
go.
the
Let's get you
rumors
this
are
chip."
centered around Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, and then obviously the dreams
Carmelo,
of
apparently.
the dreams of all Lakers with Dame Lillard. So I want to hear from some of the Laker faithful on the call. Who do you guys believe is out of those three? Who's your number one option, realistic option, and your hell no?
I'll tell you who I'd want of all the three.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard first, Russell Westbrook second, Chris Paul. We can't get any of them. We can't afford any of them. That's not what happened. That's the truth. None of them. I even forgot about the Dame Lillard chat. We'll get Melo, consolation, something.
I think we get Russell.
Oh, Lonzo Ball. Ooh.
Yeah, I
No,
heard
I'm
about
done.
Lonzo
We
Ball.
might get Alonzo. Yeah, there's Alonzo too. Go ahead, Shaz. My bad. I forgot about Alonzo
I'm not-
Ball.
I want to tell you, I'm not excited for Lonzo at all. I've been through that era. No.
That was baby Lonzo, man. That was baby Lonzo.
This one is purely
Man, he's
based
only
of
been gone for 2 seasons.
this one's purely based of eye test.
Have you
I
seen him now?
I really want Russell Westbrook. I think we can get him over the edge. And
I've never heard
also,
eye test and Russell Westbrook in the same sentence.
Let me tell you what, he's also he's gonna-
that's
I said
tough.
that, and also can I tell you, I think he's gonna bail out Anthony Davis and get some boards, and so that's why
We could use some of that. We could definitely use some of that love. He needs all the
And-
help he can get.
I don't see Dame Dollar. I don't see Dame Dollar coming. I think he goes to the Celtics. They've got a lot of assets. I think Russell Westbrook. Look, ideally, if I was really wanted it, Dame Dollar, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. For some strange reason, I got a feeling Chris Paul gonna run it for us. It's gonna suck, but
Yeah,
I
I
got a
also
feeling.
have this weird feeling that CP3 might come. But so
Banana
you guys
boat
are gonna-
guys.
But I know that you guys, I know that your teams always need a lot. They need always more. So
Nobody cares as long as we're winning.
Which is true. I'm fine with that. He's 36. He's 36. You let him go.
37
And
this year.
if they lose, you guys are gonna blame all these new guys that are coming. So we know what we know.
Nah,
this.
you know how it goes. We're gonna blame them because it's gonna be their fault.
Right.
No, it's win or bust. Magic Johnson called it. He said if the Lakers don't win this year, let's call it what it is. So we gotta blame some people.
All right, Famo. It's been a good show. It's been a good season, man. I think we had a hell of a season. We're gonna have some off-season banter. Some off-season. I'm sure there'll be a GOAT capture inquiry with Giannis up there because 100%.
Season 2.
Now he's above LeBron James because 100%. You know how it goes.
No, stop
You know
it.
the jig. Hey
What?
man, 100% in the NBA Finals is what you need to be at the top. I heard. That's what I heard.
You're so
Thank you all
annoying.
for watching. Thank you guys for keeping up with us all season. Now, yeah, yo. Can we mute Les? Because you see, he will start
Do
off
we do
again.
the Olympics? Do we do the Olympics, or is like this is a wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
If
can
USA
do the
can get some
Olympics,
smoke,
obviously.
Why are we
I
having
am
a fast
online.
break creative meeting right now?
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yo,
Why are we having
fast break we know
Lesedi has
Listen.
captured this.
we are all here. Lesedi is the only one that's not here. I've got some
So this is
questions
Lesedi.
about Quito and Sunday, but yeah, for now,
This is
Lesedi is the
Lesedi.
most logical counter.
We need to do a fast break background, bring in Kito,
Yeah, dude, we need to
Sandman.
vet. We need to vet
need
it.
to see
We
who
need to show the crew.
producers are.
All right, Tremo, like, share, subscribe. Share's on his phone. Share's the one tweeting. See that? We caught you. Ah, damn.
Oh, shout out to
Thank you.
I
Vince
thought we got to the
Sanity.
bottom of it.
All love.
Appreciate your love, Vince. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Cheers, Tremo. Yeah,
Bye.
give us do the Joan.
Cheers, guys.